So in another classic foray into social media, friendos, we're bringing it back. We're looking at the reception of Valve's new game as it pertains to games journalists and how they just keep making mistake after mistake. This is Tom Warren. The headline is, "We played Valve's secret." This is going to come into this in a minute. This is a fairly big factor, so we have to pay attention to the wording. The secret new shooter, Deadlock. It's like Overwatch, Dota 2, and Team Fortress 2 all baked into a pie. Now this, surely there can't be any controversy surrounding this, right? Just talking about a new secret game, which is all not too secret. It got leaked months ago at this point. There was gameplay being posted online. I don't know if Valve decided because of that leak to start upping the player base. But now there's not really anything secret about it other than I don't believe you're supposed to be posting like in-depth opinions or footage or anything like that online. There's no like actual signed NDA to get into the game, and they've invited basically everybody. If you are in Deadlock Alpha or whatever they're calling it, you can simply invite as many people as you want, it seems like, from your Steam friends list. And within 24 hours, they're going to get an invite into the game, and then they can do the same thing. So it's like a virus, basically. A really fucking fun virus, by the way. This game slaps, in my opinion. I've played it a bunch over the last couple of days. Me and a group of my friends, my brother, we're playing this game. It unfortunately doesn't have unlimited runtime because it goes down for certain periods of the day. But whenever it's up, if I'm not working or, playing RuneScape, which could in a way be considered working with how much time I put into it, I'm probably playing Deadlock or Magic the Gathering. But the game's just really fun. And obviously, when you open the game up, it says something like, don't share stuff about the game. I don't think I'm overstepping by saying the game's fun and I've played it. But The Verge, or particularly this writer from The Verge, decided that he was going to ignore all that and just post an article online, even saying we played Valve's secret new shooter, which again is not really a secret, but if it was, you shouldn't have done this, should you? You shouldn't have been posting about this. So let's take a look at the article. It's been nearly 5 years since Valve announced a truly new game and counting. Valve has still not announced Deadlock, its new hero shooter that takes cues from Overwatch, Dota 2, Team Fortress, and more. But that hasn't stopped nearly 20,000 people from trying the game, including me. And I'm not under an NDA. True. I've signed no contracts and made no verbal agreements. I haven't even clicked through a EULA. True. Early development build, though, you can literally see here what it says. Deadlock is still early in development, with a lot of temporary art and experimental gameplay. Do not share anything about the game with anyone. So they're clearly telling you, don't be writing articles or in-depth reviews or whatever it's going to be, because it's an early development build. And I will just say, by the way, with the way that Valve does games now, because they don't need to do games, they just sort of do. And then they're going to come out and they are going to be experimental, and they're going to try and do stuff other people strictly aren't doing with their games. And they're going to try to, break the boundaries of how other people release and think about games. They've always been a very forward-thinking company, Valve. And I give them a lot of respect for that, because while other big companies have sold out over the years and, basically signed contracts with the devil, and by the devil, I mean Chinese investment or just crazy microtransactions from massive Western companies that do the same thing, Valve have stayed how they are. They've not gone public. They pretty much have always maintained like a certain level of integrity. So you always want to treat Valve sort of as a good entity within the ecosystem of gaming, because considering they own basically a massive portion of the marketing market, the publishing market, everything, by being Valve and having Steam, we could do a lot worse, guys. We could have a lot worse of a company in charge of as much real estate as Valve have. So I always kind of like to preface with the fact, whenever I'm going to give criticism or talk about Valve in general, that they do a lot of things really well. Do they do some things poorly? Yeah, of course they do. They're a company at the end of the day. Microtransactions, loot boxes in particular, microtransactions, it's whatever. We grow to accept this over time. But in terms of loot boxes and things, I'm never going to be convinced that this is not like predatory gambling for children. You're never going to convince me otherwise, because I know gambling addicts. I've lived with it for most of my life. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've experienced it with my own friends. This shit is predatory, and it's bad, and it's provably, objectively by studies, bad for children, which have access to these things. If it wasn't children, go wild. Who gives a fuck, right? Adults can make adult decisions. Still think it's wrong, but gambling exists, and it is what it is. But that's just to say, of course, Valve probably don't want you doing things like this, because they're super lenient with things. Valve in general are very hands off in dealing with people. Like, they basically want to show you respect and then get respect in return in a kind of loose way. So the fact that he had this message pop up literally saying don't do this, and he just went, fuck you, I need clicks for my website, so I'm gonna go do it anyway. So he says, this message does pop up when I launch Deadlock, but I didn't click OK. I fucking got him. Valve, this one trick will make MILFs in your area give you slop. Why did I just fucking say that? Too much coffee this morning. He basically just says, he hit the escape key and watched it disappear. There you go then. Fucking judge, Your Honor, case dismissed. Earlier today, I received a no strings attached invite to play Deadlock on Steam. Steam claims the game is made by Valve. It displays Valve's copyrighted logo when it launches, and its executable is digitally signed by Valve Corp. The game's directory contains Valve legal notices and numerous other text files that reference Valve, and it feels like a Valve game. It very much does. This game, the more you play it, I've seen people say, oh, it's like Overwatch, oh, it's like Smite, oh, it's like, XYZ, it's like Valorant. This game is Dota and Team Fortress 2 in a new skin, basically mashed together. You can very clearly, if you're like a long-term Dota player or a Team Fortress 2 player, see exactly what this game's going for, and the little intricacies of the game really play to the strengths of those games. It's fucking fantastic, honestly. Like, I can't say enough how much I like this game, and can't wait for what they do with it, because again, if it's like this already, this early, people are playing this game for fun. There's no like ranked, there's no points they're giving you, there's no like good boy tap on the ass stuff. It's literally you just playing the game, and people are really resonating with it and enjoying it. So you can see from the numbers online, I'll probably flash it up on screen in a minute, that the play base is just going up and up and up, because more people have been invited by their friends, and they're saying, hey, look guys, let's try this game out together, and then they're continuing playing it. So if it's like this already, I'd definitely be looking forward to giving it a try and getting access to it when and if you can. Though Valve didn't respond to my request for comment, I'm completely convinced that it's legit. What the fuck? What do you mean? Are we under any illusion that this isn't a Valve game? I'm confused. So what is Deadlock? It's a 6-on-6 shooter like the original Overwatch, where your team of heroes attempts to dominate a map by slowly wearing down the opposing team and pushing them back. But you're also leading an army of NPC grunts down 4 different lanes to destroy the opposing team's stationary defenses, a little like Dota or other MOBA games. It's a hero shooter MOBA game. It's what it is. If you enjoy any of those genres, there's a real good chance that you'll enjoy this game. There's no downtime. True, the game's just a constant like back and forth. Again, I feel like I'm probably giving away a little bit too much here by commenting the article, because I played the game. But I don't think I'm giving away like intricate details. It's just, the game, you're just playing it. There's not really a lot of sitting around. It's a constant war between your team's troopers, the grunts, and the enemy team's troopers, which keep respawning and advancing on enemy positions wave after wave. It's a MOBA. Yeah. But they can't break through unless the human-powered heroes lend them a hand with powerful weapons, abilities, and upgrades. Nor can humans easily break through without their NPC army, or at least that's what I saw in my first match. To take down the flame-headed, energy-spewing guardians or hulking walkers that block your passage, it takes at least a somewhat coordinated effort by one human and their little autonomous friends. Each match culminates in an all-hands-on-deck fight against the enemy's patron, a gigantic floating orb with arms and death rays. And then obviously he's got screenshots and stuff here of the game with the patron, a patron. When I say coordinated, I'm not talking about aiming. This isn't a Valorant or Apex Legends like game where snappy aim is key. It feels like Overwatch, or maybe even more so like Team Fortress 2 in its floaty, wear down their health gameplay. You can tank, heal, and retreat even if a tremendous amount of enemy fire is coming your way. Each match gets deadlier and deadlier as you unlock your hero's abilities and buy skills. What? Oh, okay. So he's not saying like there's a progression. There's no progression system in the game. It just means the actual game gets deadlier and deadlier as people buy stuff and whatever. Many of which give you damage per second. Others provide lifesteal, shielding, and more. Every character also has strong and light melee attacks, and you can parry an incoming melee to stun your opponent. And then he shows the shop, which I'm fairly sure all stuff like this is basically completely placeholder, because it's an alpha, or at least we assume it's an alpha, right? They just say early access, like early development build or whatever. But the game is like a fully playable, in my opinion, very fucking polished. Like if it's like this now and they consider this early, what's it going to be like in a year from now, 2 years from now? It's they're on the right path, definitely. It helps. There's a lot of ways to dodge enemy bullets and traverse the map. You can slide, dash, air dash, dash jump, double jump, and mantle up to ledges. Each of the game's 4 lanes also has an aerial tramway that lets you hitch free rides into and out of the fray. The ziplines don't feel overpowered after an earlier leak. I'd once heard them compared to Titanfall's attack from any angle traversal gameplay, but Valve keeps them away from the actual firing lines. You have to retreat to territory you own before they'll work. They also look like they'll lead a fascinating give and take mechanic as games progress. To power up, I needed to take my hero back to a shop to buy new perks for the souls I'd accumulated by destroying enemy troopers and heroes, but that left my territory undefended. By the time I returned, the front lines had been pushed back further than I would have liked. Even in this early development build, there are already 20 different heroes, plenty of which look like I'd enjoy playing. Yes, some of them are common archetypes like the archer, swordsman, sniper, and shotgun teleport specialist, but it's not all that simple. Have you ever seen an Infernus who literally finger guns his foes to pieces? This is just fucking cool, isn't it? It's just cool. Finger guns, fireman, like it's just a cool thing. And then there's 20 screenshots here. I assume that's of all the heroes. It is, as you can see. I've seen some people criticize like the art design and stuff and the direction of this game visually. But what I will say is that screenshots don't really do it justice. And again, it's an early build of a work in progress game that they've specifically not told people about. It's just Valve all over, right? I mean, they kind of did this with Dota where they just sort of rolled the game out to people and then kept rolling it out to people till they felt like it was in a spot where they could just open the door, and then one day they were just like, here's Dota 2. And it feels like that's where they're going with this. And, you know, there's no real expectation with it. Nobody knew Deadlock was coming, but obviously it's a nice surprise. And I felt the same way with like Apex Legends. You remember when Apex Legends came out? What a fucking breath of fresh air that was for the industry. When you just surviving one day on, you know, the gruel of day-to-day life, and then, oh, here's Apex Legends. Like it just exists right now. You've never heard of it, you've never seen it. Here it is. Go play the game. That shit's cool. Because obviously like indie games just drop randomly and stuff, but nowadays with the brain drain of like, I've been following this game for 3 years, and every 3 days I watch a 20-minute video from a content creator, or I read a devlog, or I speak to the developers in Discord for 6 years before I get to play this, and there's a million fucking pieces of information and videos and guides and alphas and all this stuff before we even get to play the game, and then it comes out and it's like, I'm fucking bored of this already. The drain of like knowing about this. We have this specifically in, you know, crowdfunding and MMORPGs are really notoriously bad for this. And like PTRs, public test realms, and things like that. So when it comes to just a game that's already very polished and good, like Apex Legends was, to just drop out of thin air, you know, fuck all about it, and it's just like, everybody is square one right now, and you're all just figuring it out on your own. There's no guides on YouTube. There's nobody telling you, here's the tier list. Like, shit like this is really fun. And obviously, with Deadlock rolling out, and it is an early build, it kind of has the element, but at the same time, because there was nothing media-wise from Valve about it, there's not years of that drain, and you can just go play the game, you can get an invite so easily, it's the same thing. And because they've got this like informal NDA, there are no videos of this shit on YouTube. There's nobody like, hello, I'm a high MMR player and this is my build for this character. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not there. It's refreshing, and you're never going to convince me it isn't, because this shit is, it's definitely a different from the norm. So Valve doing Valve things in ways that pretty much only Valve can do, because they have more money than God, and that money never goes away, because Steam is a fucking perpetual earner that covers most of the market and will probably continue to do so. So he says, I haven't played enough yet to even begin to tell if the game's well balanced or if there's any kind of backstory for its heroes, but I'm eager to give it a go with my friends, and it seems like Valve will be just fine with that. I will say, because it's like a MOBA type game, and because there's heroes and they have abilities and stuff like that, there's always going to be like a level of imbalance. But if you've played Dota, the way that Valve balances Dota is with data, and the way that they use that data is not always apparent to people, but they've been doing it for many years. And Dota is an incredibly competitive game that changes so often, and they kind of take an approach of, if everything's broken, nothing is broken. And it's just kind of like, this thing's good against this. It's rock, paper, scissors, but with like a million different options. And it's like, we will give you the tools. Again, they're talking about Dota, not specifically this game, but you can, again, the through lines of the development and the design and the feel of the game is definitely noticeable for someone who does. Dota is one of my most played games ever at this point. And the way that they balance that game is just kind of like, you have all these tools at your disposal to counterpick people, and if they counterpick, then there's items that counter that counterpick, and then there's items that counter that counter item, and it's based on like, how do you utilize your team. The comeback mechanics in Dota are crazy. You can be down by 30,000 gold and still win the game, which is unheard of in most MOBAs. The heroes are good at certain elements of the game, at certain periods of the game. Some heroes hit one item and it's just like, okay, now they're going to win the game, and you just have to kind of stop them doing that if you're aware of it. Feels like this game is probably going to be much more of the same, where they don't worry about like, oh, this character is perceived as a pub stompy, really strong hero. It's just like, oh, by the data, we know that there's ways to counter it, and people just need to learn the game to do so. And we've given them the tools, and then it's up to them whether they do. And if it's really, really bad, and it's agreeably bad between tiers and things like that, then we'll probably tone it down a little bit. But if not, just fucking get good and deal with it. So I'd imagine that's the way that they go with it. So anything that's like imbalanced now or whatever, I personally haven't felt that way. Even if some things feel a little bit wonky, it's an early development. And as a Dota player, it feels like this is a non-issue completely. While Valve has yet to announce or even acknowledge this game's existence publicly, the current build lets anyone with a copy invite as many Steam friends as they like to give it a try too. That's why I have an invite, and that's why my friends now have an invite. This next, I've just skimmed this next line. Fucking, that's so funny. It's an unusual way to release a game, but this is Valve we're talking about. It's an unusual company. Yeah, they are, for good. And then it says, August 12th update. Turns out, Valve was not fine with me trying Deadlock with friends. I've been banned from matchmaking. Oh well. Please feel free to make fun of me in the comments. I mean, yeah, you deserve it, because there you go, a member of your party is permanently banned from playing in this mode. Even the way that this was written out is disingenuous, though. It's just kind of like, why can't you just accept that you fucked up and it's entirely in your hands and you did this for your job or clout or whatever? He says, turns out Valve was not fine with me trying Deadlock with friends. They didn't ban you for trying Deadlock with friends, mate. They banned you for posting this fucking article in which you admit you circumvented the warning that they gave you. They said, here, we trust you to try our game. Don't post anything about it online, please. And you went, I see that warning and I say, fuck you, Valve. And you just spit in their face. And then they just went, oh yeah, you're banned. Like, they could probably do worse. But all they did was they banned you and they made you look like a fucking clown. Because this is funny. What do we do to clowns? We laugh at them. And this is funny. This is clown behavior. Because again, this message pops up when I launched Deadlock, but I didn't click OK. Instead, I hit the escape key and watched it disappear. And then what did they do? They hit the fucking permaban button and watched your access disappear. But you probably won't care because you weren't going to like earnestly play the game and you know, be super into it or whatever. You just made this article because, oh, Valve's got a new shooter, it's secret, and I broke the barrier and I posted about it. It's just shit, innit? Like, it's just a shit thing to do. Maybe they'll remove my access for commenting on this article and saying like, yeah, this is good, this is whatever. If they do that, it'd suck. Because I genuinely really like this game, and I'm probably going to be playing it in a minute as soon as I close out this. Just a really fucking good game, but it is what it is. If I have to suffer the ban for laughing at this article and pointing out that Valve make good games and this game's good, then it is what it is. I don't think I shared anything too crazy, but there we go. And as it was rightfully pointed out here, congrats, Tom. You got community noted, lol, blatantly and justly. So here's the community note. It says, the game is still in early development and everything is a work in progress. There is nothing confirmed about the game. The author blatantly ignored an informal NDA asking them to not share any information about the game and thus was justly banned from the playtest. And he just does a fucking salute emote, doesn't he? Weird how Valve will make anything but Left 4 Dead 3, Team Fortress 3, Portal 3 and Half-Life 3. I mean, Valve want to make what... This is the thing about Valve, right? They're just going to do what they want to do, and they have a very like everything about Valve's quite informal. They have an informal way of operating the company. Like, as far as I'm aware, I think this is public information. When you go to work at Valve, you don't sign up for like, oh, we're hiring for you to work on Dota or for you to work on blah blah blah, the new project or whatever. They maybe like headhunt some people that they're like really trying to push a project, but by and large, if you work at Valve, you can just kind of, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm just going to go and work on that one, or, you know, I'm going to go and start this project or whatever else. They're very free in the way that the company operates, so you're going to get some stinkers from them because they're just trying things, and then you're going to get some fucking gems as well. And there's obviously no knocking their track record, because two of the most popular games on the planet on Steam concurrently for years and years now are Valve games. It's Dota and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Counter-Strike 2 now, I guess. And obviously they're going for another one with this that doesn't really steal from either game because they're unique and they're games that'll last forever as long as they're updated and stuff like that, because there's so much history with them and there's so much goodwill and good development. Then they've got this game that may or may not release in some time. Like, it's hard to say anything because we know literally nothing unless you played the game, in which case you know it's good. But there we go. This looks so fun. Wow, can I get an invite? You can, yeah, if you know anyone who's in it. Really easy. And then this guy says, this was such an odd and dumb decision. Why leak an entire closed alpha just for some clicks? I mean, you've fucking got it right at the end there, haven't you? You've got exactly why you did it. And I'm sure some people are going to point out it's a bit ironic or a bit hypocritical for me to say he's doing this just for clicks when I've just kind of done the same by reading his article and commenting on the game, that I've clicked a thing for, you know, do not share anything about the game with anyone. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I understand entirely. But without having played the game, it'd be really worth us commenting on this article that's gone very public. So that's where I'm at with it. But it is what it is. Really just not useful article, especially when they've asked you not to do this, showing screenshots and everything. People have leaked video already. Like, there's videos that exist. I think this is the guy you post. So he just posted a full fucking gameplay video, which is just like, come on, bro. I don't think, like, there's subreddits and stuff of people talking about the game. I don't think they mind that all too much. They just don't want people seeing what they consider to be a work in progress, right? Because a lot of this stuff is placeholder and is going to be replaced later. And they probably don't want people getting a false impression, because I've seen some people say, no, it doesn't look, you know, it looks uninspired, it looks all over the place visually or whatever. It doesn't feel like that when you play the game at all, in my opinion. But they obviously know that there's an element of this that's so work in progress that some stuff doesn't really fit together, and that might turn people off. You definitely shouldn't, because everything about this game is, in my opinion, really good. So there we go. Thanks for watching, as always. I got some Gamer stuff delivered. This is one of the new waifu cups right here. It's a legendary one. Don't know why I was holding it like that. Drinks you can buy. That's not a very interesting one to say. Look at this. You can buy Caho's Guilty Pleasure. Look at that, guys. Don't you want to be... Why is it not focusing? Don't you want to be the illustrious owner of one of those? Don't you want to have some copium? If you're a fan of video games, you need some copium anyway, because we know you're basically living on that shit all day. Sakura Splash. I mean, look at these lovely, lovely characters that they've got on the packaging. It's just, you know, what else have we got? We've got, I can't even read that, to be honest. The font's not. Here we go. This is a classic. Incel Tears. What an absolute great name for a product. I'm going to try some of these because these are all flavors I've not tried yet. So I'm going to be banging some of them in the shake cup in a minute and then, you know, maybe banging something else. But there we go. Thanks for watching as always. If you use the link in the video description for Gamer Subs, right, you get like, I think it's like 10, 15, 20% off. I don't even fucking know, to be honest. Either way, it's a great deal. Do good shipping. There's always offers on there and stuff, and it'll give me a kickback. And I appreciate that, so I can buy more furniture and, you know, big anime statues that are way too much money. And I forgot I owned because they were at my parents' house for like a year and a half while I was in another country. But there we go. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be posting more content on this channel, of course, as we go forward. And thank you, Valve, for making Deadlock. And if you actually did that, and for continuing to push the boundaries in gaming and doing things differently. And you fuck this article in general. But there we go. Thanks. See you next time. Peace.